Howdy all! If you follow Sexy and Geeky or anywhere really at all, then you've probably seen me recently promoting Living Hell out of Sexplanations, a new video series by Dr. Lindsay Doe, produced by and originated by Hank Green of the Vlogbrothers fame, particularly of a recent episode, or recent two episodes, called Interthoughts, wherein Lindsay is interviewing or chatting with a member of one of the more invisible groups within the LGBTQ www.whateverbarbecue spectrum, called Quilt Bag or Lego Butt. Oh god, there's so many letters. Intersex. They were intersex. She's intersex. So it was great to have someone who actually does identify as intersexual, I say identify, someone who has an intersex condition, talking about it. And then I was looking through Tumblr and I found someone who had reblogged the video with a really negative criticism because they had included allies within LGBTQ. The context was that Eden Atwood, the woman she was interviewing, said a really interesting thing actually. Within LGBTQ, really it's about people being allies to each other. So there's the people with T allies to twos, and twos allies to Qs, and Ls allies to Gs, and vice versa. Yo. Interestingly from that, why push allies away? Surely it would be, it seems discriminative and counterintuitive to push them away rather than welcome them in and say, yay, more people. And this Tumblr post hated that. I think it took it completely wrong. It misunderstood that, yeah, of course, allies, by their own definition, are not part of the thing that they are allying with, otherwise they're just considered members of that community that are also productive. But then I got to thinking about the reverse of things. It's always good to invert things and see how inverting them changes perspectives. If there are members, and I know there are members, of Ls who are allies to Gs, and Gs who are allies to Ts, and Gs and Ts who are allies to Bs, etc., 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 within LGBTQ then what would we consider the people who aren't allies to other members of the letters? Consider that I have met, in real life and online, people who identify as gay or lesbian who don't believe in bisexuality or don't believe in transgender existence. These people considered the idea of it to be bunk. They would say things like, well, I'm a real lesbian, not like the girls at college who fake being lesbian for attention or fake being bisexual just so guys will sleep with them. And so the question I want to raise is, if someone is LGBT, etc., but they don't support the other letters within LGBT, etc., then are they part of that label? And well, then we get to the question, what does the label mean? To say, I am LGBTQ, or I identify as LGBTQ, what do I really mean? Like, I can't mean that I identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer, because I can't be all those things at once. And you've got LGBTQ, asexual, I, intersex, Q, questioning, two-spirit, on and on and on. You can't identify as all of these things at the exact same time because some of them overlap and then become different things. Point I'm trying to make. Why would we reject allies for not being part of LGBTQ when they are supportive of it, but accept people who are transphobic and biphobic inside of the label even when they're really just LG? So then we come to the question of, what does LGBTQ even mean if you say, I am LGBTQ, I identify as LGBTQ, I'm part of the LGBTQ community? For decades already, people who are allies have been a part of the LGBTQ community. They've been influential people. They are great singers like Marina and the Diamonds or Pink, who are both straight women, are major role models of this community. Gaga was, even before she came out as bisexual. I think it's possible for someone to be part of a community without fulfilling the same criteria as everybody else. Meanwhile, when I was younger and I was sexually attracted to men, I didn't consider myself gay or part of the gay community because I thought of it as a terrifying thing based upon the stereotypes that were thrust forward at me. Why the hell can't someone be part of a community that they help out a lot with or an inspiration for or just hang out with, you know? If I went to a cafe every single morning with a bunch of coffee-loving friends, I can still be part of their coffee morning even if I just drink tea. I think this whole thing has raised an interesting question of what does it mean to associate with LGBTQ, with the alphabet soup. I think it's all about a sense of belonging and kinship. The Tumblr post I read was about allies not having suffered in the same way, not having dealt with the oppression of their relationships and identities. I'm just going to go outright and say that is bunk. People can be cisgendered, straight, and all that normative jazz, and still have relationship issues and marital issues, and have all difficulties with their own identity, like what defines them. Just because someone doesn't know exactly what you're doing doesn't mean they don't understand it. To say that is to be Jon Snow. The Game of Thrones spoiler here going on. Jon Snow's main thing throughout Series 2 is saying to people, "You can't understand what I mean!" And then coming back with, "Yes, I can. I am older and wiser than you, and have been in worse situations. What the hell are you whining about?" Dude says to a Targaryen, "You doesn't know about family issues." A freaking Targaryen! To assume that you are part of the small minority to only have suffered certain problems is to make your minority smaller, is to want to be a minority, is to want the isolation and special snowflakedom that comes with being oppressed, and that is to want change not to happen. I think that anyone who calls allies being a part of our community bunk is themselves talking bunk.